Isaiah chapter 36. Before we look at it, I want to remind you today to be in prayer for Rebecca Huffman. So, Isaiah chapter 36 sets up this pretty epic story that we find here in Isaiah. It's the story of the king of Judah, King Hezekiah, versus the king of Assyria. It's a man named Sennacherib. I'm pretty sure that's how you say his name, but might not be correct. But remember how we've been talking about God is going to use this Assyrian nation to judge his people. And we know that he is already using them to carry Israel into captivity. And Israel has basically been conquered, right? And now the nation of Assyria has come down, surrounded Judah. It's not looking very good. It seems like they've taken pretty much everything, and now there's just Jerusalem. The main city is left, and they're completely surrounded by the Assyrians. So that's where we find them in this chapter. Things are looking pretty dark here. And so we're going to see this Assyrian nation. Now, it's not the king who comes, it's his field commander. They're going to come out on the field, and they're going to level this threat against Jerusalem, against God's people, and against the king, King Hezekiah. We're not going to talk about how King Hezekiah responds to that threat yet. That's in the later chapters. But today I just want to focus simply on this threat. You know, as I've read through this, and each time I read this, I think the thing that stands out to me the most is this field commander. He's pretty gifted at his job, isn't he? I mean, he's pretty good. I don't know how he is at doing battle, and that must be pretty good because they take over a lot of places. But man, as far as delivering threats, he's on point. He knows what he's doing. I mean, he's very intimidating. I imagine that if I was one of these people up on the wall of Jerusalem listening to this commander as he's delivering this threat, and I'm looking out over the Assyrian armies, I'd probably be shaking in my boots because this guy, he doesn't hold back. And he seems to level just any different place that they might be putting their hope. He starts out and he says, you may think that Egypt is going to save you, but they haven't saved anybody yet. So he demolishes that hope. He says, you may think that your God is going to save you. Well, have any of the gods of the other nations, even Israel, have they been saved by their God? Absolutely not. In fact, the reason we're here is because you've offended your God, and he told me to come here and wipe you out. You guys are done for. And he says things like, how long are you going to stay in there? Starve to death. I could take you somewhere where you're going to have food to eat. Things are going to be good. We're going to take you into captivity, yeah, but it'll be better than dying in this city. Some pretty intimidating stuff here. And the thing that just it reminds me of is that, you know, these are the threats of the enemy. And this applies for us today, too. You know, we know that the enemy lies to us, but you know what? The enemy also will threaten us. The enemy wants to bully us, just like this guy is trying to bully this nation here. He wants us to feel defeated. He wants us to think that we can't win. And you know what? Unfortunately, when we feel like that, and when the enemy begins to beat us up and bully us, we can put our hope in a lot of different places. Maybe we can put it in ourselves, and we think, well, I can do this. I can do this if I'm just strong enough, or if I'm just disciplined enough, I'll figure this out, or I have hope in this other thing. We have to have our hope in one place. The truth is, we don't have to be afraid of the enemy today. And if you're afraid of the enemy today, that's what I want you to know. You don't have anything to fear. If you're a child of God, if you've run to Christ, if you've trusted in him, it's sort of that David and Goliath mentality. We gaze on God. We know we have the ultimate fighter on our side. We don't have to worry. He's got our backs. We run to him and we depend on him. And if you're feeling beat down today, I just want to encourage you with that, because the enemy will try to threaten you. The enemy will try to bully you. The enemy wants you to feel defeated. You're not defeated. You can't be defeated. Christ has already won the victory for you. I hope that's an encouragement to you today. If you don't know that Christ died for you today, He did. He loves you. God did everything that you need. Don't depend on yourself. Just run to Him. I'm thankful for this passage today, and if God spoke something to you out of it, I ask you to leave us a message on Facebook, on YouTube. God bless you guys, and thank you so much for taking time to listen.